Hi, my name is Cindy Rang.
I'm Brianna Motzkus, and today is FabriChat.
Good morning.
Hello.
All right, well, welcome. If you're new here, we are a mother-daughter duo, and we have a quilt shop in Central Washington State. And I think we still have the largest quilt shop in Washington State.
Yeah.
There is one, Sisters in, is that what it's called? In
Yes.
Chehalis. She has the same amount of fabric as us, maybe a little bit more, but she's smaller.
Yeah.
The store is super small. And then there's also the Sewing Basket.
In Prosser.
Marilyn, in
That's an
Prosser.
experience.
She's got a lot of fabric. She could have more fabric than we do. But again, her shop is much smaller.
We have the biggest square footage in Washington State.
So anyways, and we do a lot of YouTube stuff. We do some tutorials and classes, and we do some live stuff, and then we do just coffee with friends Wednesday morning. So that's what you're part of this morning, where we sometimes will talk about quilting, and sometimes it's I don't know what. We never really know. We just chat. It's something that started back when we started the YouTube channel because we wanted to not talk about COVID anymore. So we want to talk about something fun.
And we missed show and tell, and
we missed our people, and so now it's a thing. And so I think there's a lot of people that watch that aren't even quilters.
it's totally fine.
That's okay.
We'll be your friends from afar.
That's right. That's right. And then we do, tonight at 5:00, we'll do a box opening where you get to see all of the brand new stuff that comes into the store. And we also do that again Sunday afternoons at 12:30. Yeah. So, anyway, and all kinds of other stuff. In fact, I should mention, so the other thing that we do is we do quilting cruises. We have done at least one a year for 5 years now. We've gone quite a few places. We've done Mississippi River, Columbia River, Alaska, Indonesia, Mediterranean,
Egypt, and coming up is
the UK,
British Isles.
So excited. So here's the deal. That was sold out for a bit of time. We had Cheryl Colesworthy is not coming. So those of you guys that are friends, and we were excited about time with
She's
Cheryl.
coming to some retreat.
She's coming to some retreat, so we will see her. But she has also 5 kids.
Yes.
And they're all going to be together at the same time.
Oh,
and
cool.
she was not going to be there. So anyway, so she is bagging. And so her 2 spots are available. So limited time. So anyway, if you feel like you want to come, we are leaving the first part of August. All of the information is on our website. You can go there and check it out.
There's a tab called Cruise with Us, and the
Cruise with Us.
itinerary is up there.
It's a 12-day cruise. We sail out of Amsterdam and we go to England, Wales, Scotland, Ireland, back to Amsterdam. You can do a little bit of a pre-package if you'd like to, one that we're kind of hosting that I think is going to be kind of fun. Or you can stay after and do a post package. We're sort of chatting a little bit. So Lori and Kelly are coming on the cruise with us, and Lori is trying to talk her husband into flying into Amsterdam. Spend a little bit of time. He's like too shy to do a cruise with us, but maybe they would do a little. It's like, really? What are you planning on doing?
Well, me and Robert will probably come home because I'm going to be beside myself without my babies for that long.
She's probably going to ditch us like in Scotland or something and feign
love-
an illness and fly home. But
I could happen.
not me. As long as
I do have to say, if for any reason I decided to leave the United States, that's where I would go. I don't know where, but the Queensland, I would go somewhere in there. Because I loved when I went there when I was, 11?
You were 11.
I loved it. I've been going through my old things and my old journals. My 11-year-old self, man. Didn't appreciate castles and stuff like that.
I know.
And I was only writing
think
one
it's all
page.
of the history
For
that
me,
they
for
have
sure.
that the U.S. doesn't have.
Right. And I'm always kind of been a history junkie, especially in through high school and doing different topics and then delving into those topics, on the weekends and different things.
Yeah.
But 11-year-old me, I didn't know. I was there on People to People. So I was there for more of the political stuff and Parliament and all of that. And we did a bunch of those things. Went and saw a Parliament meeting. And it was really cool doing that government part of it. And then we just did, the castle stuff for fun.
Yeah.
Because when in Rome,
It was pretty fun. Although not Rome. When in London.
Yeah, we're in London. I know. But, you know the saying.
Yeah. I like history too. I think that's why I love the South, down in Louisiana. There's a lot of stuff there that's, from the 1600s and, it's really interesting. A lot of that stuff out here. that's why
the
I
Wild
hang
West.
on to those, to those little bungalows that we have that are 100 years old, and that's nothing in comparison to a lot of other stuff. But anyway,
Super fun.
Yeah, so come with us. If you were thinking and you wanted to do some sort of a bucket list trip, I think I'm super excited for this one. And all of our favorite people are coming. So it's really going to be fun. Just a great group. And we are bringing sewing machines. We're doing a sewing project. I think we have 3 days at sea where we're mostly sewing, but the rest of the time all of us have full access to those rooms anytime we want, which is really nice. So we can work on our quilts.
And in case you're surprised, we don't know what we're sewing yet, but stay tuned.
I kind
There's
of know.
We have a list. We just haven't checked through any,
I have to know
yet.
by, I think our Zoom call is like the 28th or something.
We'll know by then.
So yeah, we'll know by then.
We're still checking box. Are you sure? I really don't want to get rid of that one yet.
I know.
And so
I know.
still
I can tell you,
time,
it is going to be one of the, one block quilt kits, so that you don't have to have a massive design wall to put things together and go, wait, something is turned here. So we do know that. We just have to, and we want it to be a new pattern that you have not ever done before. So we just have to make up our minds.
Yeah. Which is the hard part, the indecisiveness.
Yes.
But if you want to check out that, remember, FabricPatch.net, cruise with us. You can scroll through. At the bottom of it is a link where you can fill out a tiny little questionnaire, and then Ray or John will contact you later for other information or to answer those questions or all that jazz.
And if you don't have a buddy that wants to go with you, we can either find you a roommate or there's kind of ways around that. Because I was talking with somebody yesterday. I was emailing somebody back and forth that's coming. And you know who I really want to talk into going, who's not going, is Marge.
Oh, she should go.
I know. I don't know why she's not going. She usually goes with us.
We should ask her. Yeah. Because, you guys might have known this. I don't know. She had knee surgery. So she,
because she was going to do Egypt.
And then was worried about the flight. So, because
she was still having so much swelling after she had a knee replacement.
She asked Marge, if you're watching.
Marge.
We're going to chat.
Sign yourself up. You need to come. All right. Okay, so there's that. And then the other thing we have a bunch of questions. So the other thing that happened was Monday. So if you subscribe, you already know, and maybe you've watched it, maybe you haven't, but on Monday, we aired a video, because Aaron Pratt, one of our fabric reps, was here last week. I think he was here. Was it Wednesday or was it Tuesday?
Yeah, it was Wednesday.
Wednesday. So Anna, I just love Anna.
I'm so glad she's here with us.
Oh my gosh.
Tell you.
She just does such a great job with the video editing. And it was interesting, I thought. But so we do that all the time, and we had a ton of questions. So we're going to answer some of you guys' questions about that and talk a little bit about some of that footage. But I really loved the way that she edited it, because I wondered if it was going to be boring, just seeing fabric and seeing fabric.
I have to say, when I watched it, I was intrigued. I was there.
I know.
I had to know. I loved watching Maisie in Anna's point of view, which was pretty much just run for mom. And
it was a funny thing. If you couldn't tell, a couple people said, "What was she doing?" Here's what
running
doing.
from me.
Because some of that was like fast forwarded. So what she would do is she'd run around. So she was running from Brianna. She would jump over Brianna's chair and she would fly into my lap and act like, "Oh, I really want to see."
As soon as I sat down, boom,
she'd go that way.
And then
she'd run, and Brianna would get her, and she'd run, Nana, and she's yelling, "Fly into my lap."
A moment. And then, mom's sitting. Boom.
Yeah. She did that constantly until it was too much. But anyway, she's super fun and disruptive. But anyway, she's picked out fabric before.
Yes.
So anyway, so we thought we would take just a couple of minutes and answers. And I was kind of going in as you guys were answering or asking questions, and I was answering. But I have to say that, and I think you were doing that too. But so many of the questions were, "Did you order that? Did you order that?" So some of the things, I mean, if it's recent enough, I can remember the things.
Some of them I remembered, and
some of them, it's kind of funny. Even
I couldn't tell you
afterwards.
when they were coming, though. Maybe summer.
We don't know.
But we know at least 4 months from now.
And there's certain ones. It's like, oh, I can't wait for that to come. But I'm going to tell you that there is a tell. if you watch the video, you know which ones we ordered. Because what will happen, is that as he's laying him out, it's like, oh, nice, pretty. Oh,
Yeah.
what is, oh, look, and it comes in a pink too. And oh, I like the big one or whatever. And then, but then he keeps going because we like the way that we do it. Yeah. We want to see all of it.
All of his options.
And I think that every quilt shop probably does this a little bit different, but we're very specific the way that we do it. We want you to show us every single thing that you have. And people had commented about how fast he does it. We like that. Lay it down. And sometimes he has a little bit of a spiel about, this or whatever, but he lays it down. And then we want to see all of it. And that stack was fairly significant.
A few of them mentioned we might need booster seeds.
I know.
For short because the pile was...
Yes. But we want to see that because if there's a moose print or something,
we want to pick the
we
best
don't want to
one.
get 3. I mean, maybe we'll get 3, but we want to see all of them. We want to see everything that we select from. And the other reason that we like it that he goes fast is because that's part of the way that we shop.
Right.
So what's real important to us is that as he's going, did it make us go, wait, what was that?
Is it love at first sight is what we're looking for.
That's what we're looking for, is if we immediately went, oh my gosh, wait, then that's our tell of, oh, we have to have that one. And then sometimes, so we'll look through all of them and we react. He knows also the ones that we're getting.
Yeah.
And you would know also the ones. But then as he takes them off, we'll go, oh, and we'll pause for a minute while he's writing things up. And then what we'll do is I'll say, I loved this one. Did you? And then she'll go, oh yeah, I did. Or, oh, I really didn't. It's like, okay, wait a minute.
Or only liked this color.
I only liked this one, or I only liked it this colorway, or don't you think it looks so much like this one? So we talk about it a little bit. And our rule is that if we have to talk about it
for too long,
it's out. If I have to talk you into it, or, except for like the squirrel fabric, I just bought it. Brianne didn't want it. I bought it. We sold out in a day. I was right. But if we have to talk about it for too long, then we pass on it. Because I feel like that's the way that I would shop for fabric anyway.
There's so many choices.
All of us have so much fabric in our stash, and so really the idea is how can we use up the stuff that we have? And for a lot of it, it's, if we have some other key piece that we can add things to, something that's so unusual that you haven't seen this before, something that's so specific because there was like some skiers, some snow ski fabric. So cute. It's like, gosh, we haven't seen that one for a while. And so that's the other thing. And then there's certain things that we almost never say no to. I am certainly fond of bees.
Yes.
We almost never say no to. And things that are big, bright florals. We're both crazy about
I think
flowers.
what also is helpful is her and I both have 2 very different aesthetics.
We do.
What she likes and what I like are different.
Yes.
There's some things we can agree on and something, rock, paper, scissors, man.
That's right.
And it also what you guys shop from us during box openings, whether you're in here for a retreat. If it sells in the shop well, it's something that I don't like it, doesn't matter because she can sell a floral to anybody.
Right.
Right. We can sell a bee to anybody, that kind of a thing. That definitely plays a huge part.
Yeah.
of it.
If there's stuff that we order all the time, and we don't sell it, then we don't reorder it. So this will shock some of you guys, but Tula Pink, super, super popular.
Love her.
Tula Troopers. She really loves her.
I'm
do
a Tula
too.
Trooper, for sure.
I like Tula, but I find her stuff to be a little bit weird for me. I mean, not that that's a bad thing, but I'm not as much a Tula person. I think if Mike's watching, he is having a heart attack right now because he is.
She's a floral and bumblebees.
I'm floral.
That's what she's all about.
And my other thing is I'm very literal. For me, pretty much, I like green grass and I like blue sky and I like things that make sense, and some of Tula's stuff doesn't make a lot of sense, but anyway, for us, I think most of the people that watch are a little bit more on my side of things. So we have a lot of Tula in the shop. And so oftentimes when Tula's line comes out, we'll look at it. Brianna always loves it. And I kind of have to go, I would buy that. And if I would buy it, then we buy that line. But if I go, oh, I don't even know. What is this?
I'm shopping retail like the rest of you.
Yeah. And that's what happens. So just so you know that, and that's probably true of your local stores too.
Yeah.
If it's what you guys keep buying, then your local shop will buy it for you. I mean, that's
Yes.
what they're all in it for. I mean, I would think so. And if you don't buy it, they're not going to buy more. Well, maybe now
will
you'll
help
like
you.
it.
Yeah.
Well, maybe now you'll like it and it'll go with everything else we have. No. If you didn't like it last week, you're not going to like it this week. So just a little thing. And
At least that's our philosophy.
Yeah.
Who knows? Not every quilt shop is the same. I mean, we're not all the same.
No.
And what works for us might not work for somebody else, but we're full of ideas.
the other thing that will happen is that we'll see the collections, and sometimes they come in a couple different colors.
Yeah.
And so then it's really fun because you saw how much we saw on paper. So on paper, it has to look pretty fantastic because it better look way, way better on fabric. Because it's the same thing with you guys. You guys see it through the lens. And that's why when you get it, it's like, oh my gosh, it's way prettier than I thought. Yeah. But we'll see it. We might be in another store shopping. We do retail shopping.
Yeah, we love shop hopping.
We love it.
Yeah.
We love it. And it's like, oh my gosh, they got it in purple. Why did we only get it in blue? You know?
Yeah.
And so those are the things that we, there used to be a shop over in Ballard,
Yeah.
on the other side. And, Angie and I had exactly the opposite
Yeah.
taste, or Angie and us. So we would order the exact same fabric, but always a different color.
Yeah.
Always a different color. It was the weirdest thing.
I would go into Annie's once a week. Once a week, I'd go over to Ballard. I'd go to Fred Meyer, do my grocery shopping, and then hit the fabric store and do some petting and smelling, you know. And then I would text, look how pretty this one was. I told her this was the color. And then, you know, I do some shopping.
Yeah.
But
yeah. Back when she went to college over there,
Yeah.
and when Angie's shop was over there. So anyway, let's see. I feel like I had a couple of specific questions, and you did too. Did we kind of?
I think they're kind of all the same.
answer? They wanted to know. People were surprised at how many we saw, and I think that we kind of answered at the end of it how many. And Aaron, by far, has the most lines, which I'm going to say I love that. You can see that it really takes all morning. I mean, he arrives 8:30, and we're usually done 12:30 or 1. It takes a while because then afterwards, as we're going down the pile, we'll stop and say, okay, yeah, we want all of this. And then he has to write it up. Okay, then we want all of this. And then he has to write it up. So it takes a little bit of time. And then we have to make the decisions about
And we do
kits, pre-cuts.
And we make the decision right then and there.
Yes.
After we stopped filming, we went through and said yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. There is an option. I think we have at least maybe a month, sometimes not. I mean, there are drop dead dates we're able to order. If you're past that date, you're not going to get it. Because of course, fabric companies print.
Lizzie!
Sorry. She kicked it on her way out.
She's
No. There you go. Companies print to order. So if, they sold 1,500 yards, they're going to maybe print 1,600 yards.
Yeah.
Plus whatever pre-cuts. So it really is something that that's why it's not reorderable.
Yeah, we can't change our mind later.
Yeah.
We get to see it, we order it, then they print it, then it ships over, then we get it. Much of our fabric is printed in Pakistan.
Yep.
Most of it, I think. Some in Japan. There's other places, but in Indonesia, of course, all of the batiks.
And all of these companies have essentially appointments with the printing companies. So they have to meet their appointment.
Yeah.
So they can't just,
Yeah.
we don't know what we're going to do. Well,
Right.
okay, well then you're being skipped because Banner Tex is next or whatever.
Right. Right.
yeah.
A lot of them they're all using the same mills, but
Yeah.
that's a whole nother video. But, because somebody did say, okay, gosh, so then after they show that, do you keep all of those boards and those fabric swatches and then call them? No. We do, again, it's that whole reaction. We loved it,
Yep.
didn't, loved it. And so that's how we choose. And then other people were asking, I thought I brought one back here for you guys, the fun little fabric cards with the little samples.
Oh, yeah.
Oftentimes we are at the mercy of our fabric reps. And sometimes they'll donate those to us if they know that we have something fun coming up. And because people love them. We
pretty
love
cool.
them.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so sometimes we get those and then we offer those. We did that about a year ago. we had kind of a fun little sample thing and put one in everybody's order for something. And then we've sold them. And I think what we'll do is we'll start collecting them. And for our auction, we'll do some samples because those are kind of fun. But we don't get those.
We had some during the bra auction that we either sold
we did.
or auctioned.
Yeah,
for
we
the
put in
fundraiser.
with some stuff. Yeah, so they are kind of fun. But somebody had asked, "Well, do you get to keep those?" No, he lays them out and takes them because then he goes on to the very next shop.
We can order like color cards. So if there's a basic, you know, whether it's a grunge basic or a solid basic, we can order a color card so we can reorder them. So that's sometimes what we'll do. So if it's a basic we really like and we want to keep in the store, we'll have we have a 1895s from Hoffman Boutiques. We have that. We have a really old card, but we do have a card. We have a like a Fairy Frost card. We do have cards like that
and solid
for reorderable. Yeah. It does of course change, and then we'll have to decide when we want to buy a new one because now there's 24 new colors instead of the original 36 or whatever. But yeah.
Okay, I'm going to look at some of the other questions. So that was one of the questions is, and then how many do you see? So we have a Riley Blake rep, and that's all we see from her is Riley Blake. Mm-hmm. So it's basically the same type of appointment, but it's probably 45 minutes because that's all she's showing us is the Riley Blake stuff. And then we have a Moda rep, and same thing. It's probably 45 minutes. That's all we see from her. We have a Wilmington rep, and that's all we see. Mm-hmm. And then we have Patty. And you guys have seen Patty before, maybe a couple of years ago. And Patty, she shows us Benartex.
Everything pretty much Erin doesn't.
Yeah, she does the opposite. And so those two are fairly lengthy appointments because we see a lot. And we actually prefer that. But, and then somebody asked, is there anything that we don't see? And that's sort of an interesting thing because we are right in the center part of the state. And so sometimes the reps think, oh, I'm not driving out there for nothing. Yeah. And so they'll go all up and down the I-5 corridor, and then they might fly over to Spokane and they'll see the Spokane shops and maybe over into Coeur d'Alene, and they miss us. Mm-hmm. And so the two fabrics that we don't see reps because they don't come here. It's the same person who sells both is Marcus Brothers fabric. And we don't see Timeless Treasures.
Right.
We don't see either of those because she wants us to drive over to Seattle. I'm not doing that.
We can order them from a bulk distributor, but it's hard. We like to see it. And for those two, we have so many other companies that it's a shame we can't have those and you guys can't see those. But maybe a shop.
I know, because I see some really cute Timeless Treasures, and it's like, well, I would think I would like that because I love Wing and a Prayer. I love her patterns, and that's all Timeless Treasures, but we don't see it.
Yeah.
So, right? Exactly. Exactly. So let's see. What were some of the other questions? This was I'm curious how long you have to decide. And then, here's a good question. That was fun. I could never do that. And a lot of people said that, I could never, it was way too overwhelming. And it might seem like it, but you would get used to it if that was what you did. And then she says, how the heck can you keep the budget? Well, here's my answer for that. It's the same thing as grocery shopping, right? So if I go grocery shopping, and back when I was feeding, 3 teenagers, it was a little bit different, and I would go once a week, but every week I would know that these are the things I have to get. This is what's going to happen. And I know in this cart, I have got $180. And even still, when I look in my grocery cart, by the time I get there, it used to always be a game. How much do you think is in there? And I think most women, you can get pretty close to how much you're spending. And it's the same thing. It's basically, I can read that cart. I kind of know what we get all the time. And it's the same thing for us. We kind of know what we get all the time, how many pieces we're getting. And every once in a while, it's like, we ordered way too much Hoffman this time. We need to, and so, but it's basically that same thing. If that's what you're working with all the time, then you know your budget and you can.
And essentially we're budgeted per rep because our reps are also different. Erin and Patty kind of have the same kind of a budget. Patty does do notions with us, but we have an entirely different notions budget. And then our reps, we budget our rep knowing this lot of money is for these people. And that makes it easier instead of, per collection or per bolt or how many bolts we can afford. It's a rep budget.
Yes. And this person said, I've experienced a lot of reps in my many years, and this rep knows his stuff.
He does. He's
and then she talks about not too fast, not too slow. That's exactly right. We love the way that he does it. He just flips it out, flips it out, flips it out.
He's our veteran rep.
He is. He's been with us for 25 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he knows. And maybe he does it different with other people. But we know those designers. We know what he's showing us. We know all of that. So he's going to lay it out, and he doesn't have to sell it to us and explain, oh, but if you, we don't,
It's again, love at first sight.
Right.
That is
love at first sight.
If
that's
it's
like,
game.
oh, what can I make out of this? Then we're going to get it.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's see.
But yes, he's very knowledgeable. He makes sure he attends whatever Zoom he can with the designers to understand whatever he needs to know to help sell maybe to a different shop or a new shop. Yeah. He does a good job.
Okay. Did you have other questions that I didn't ask?
We answered that one. Oh, someone wondered how many, because of how much we see, how many bolts we empty throughout a year. And that's kind of a hard question. It's definitely seasonal, but I think like Mondays when we were doing like Sundays orders and the weekend orders, I think on Monday I emptied like 15 bolts. Some of that was Margie and I were also cutting some more O10 kits for you guys. And so we were also cutting some kits, but also just, because you guys loved the In Beginning collection.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It all fluctuates. And then during traveling season, so in here during the summer months, we have a lot of people traveling. So we might do even more just on a regular day because there's more foot traffic.
Yeah. We could look up that number to get a little bit closer for you because I think it is kind of interesting. But in the industry, when quilt shops, when we all go to market and we all go to different meetings and to try to, strengthen the industry and talk about what works for us and what doesn't work for us, they talk about that and they call that a fabric turn. And what they're talking about is how long does it take you to sell that bolt and how long is it in the store? And then if it's been in the store for too long, what is it that you have to do with it? And it's really, really hard to discount it. I mean, of course, we all do that. We all have our clearance section, but we're hopeful that there isn't anything super new that goes back there because, by the time you've paid for the fabric, you've paid for the shipping, you've paid for everything else, we talk about that a lot, that our profit, if you were, is 2 yards on a bolt. That's like the absolute math for that is that 2 yards. So then if you're making a bunch of samples or you're doing something else, it's possible that you're going to end up almost in the hole. So it's kind of hard. There's a whole lot of math that goes into that. But that's what they're looking for is the turn. And so for us, we don't have a whole lot of old fabric. And the old fabric that we do have, we turn it quite quickly. And I would say that probably the average, really, and if you did the math, we probably empty or turn probably 50 to 60 bolts per week. And if you look at like our box openings, we probably get, 50 to 60 bolts per week. So I think that as we find room for fabric and we put fabric away, that's our other marker. It's like, oh, we got a whole lot of Christmas right now.
Or a whole lot of this
we have
color
a whole
story.
lot of, this right now. And so we try to, gauge all of that and move it. But our turn is fairly healthy in our store. And a lot of that is because of, shopping online. It's super helpful to a store and also having retreats and having people that come in and stay at our retreat center and they're here shopping every Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So for us, I think it's a little bit different. And that's why we just really encourage you guys to, if you have a little local shop, that's doing stuff, to help them.
Yeah. If you're in town, just stop in. Even if you're not looking for anything, just stop in, peruse,
see what they're doing.
Take 5 minutes.
Tell me you're thankful they're there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You never know what phone call they had to make.
Yeah.
So,
tell
me love them and then, I just wanted to swing by and stretch my legs.
Yeah.
Use the bathroom. Use their bathroom. It's far cleaner than the grocery stores.
Yes. And it always sounds kind of terrible, but check out their sale aisle, because, and I feel like that's what you should do with us too, because there's good stuff that's on sale. The stuff that we put on sale, it's not old.
It's because the rest of their counterparts are gone.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's good
And that
fabric.
that's why oftentimes, we go around and look for, it's like, gosh, clearance is slim pickings. Let's go find stuff to put on clearance. And we'll do it on purpose to kind of make room. And there's a lot of new stuff back there. So check our clearance frequently. It's actually a really good deal.
Yeah.
All right. Any other questions for Erin?
No, that was kind of it.
All right, good. I'm glad you guys like that. Oh,
Yeah.
There was one other little thing. They said, wait. You didn't show us how you pick.
That's the secret.
I know. Here's my
Why don't you
worry
keep coming back?
on that is that what will happen is like, no, that
We're going to hurt your feelings.
Wait, why didn't you get that? And that's always going to happen, right? That, there's going to be something that, that for whatever reason, and who knows why we didn't pick it. It could just be because we have one other line that looks just like it that didn't sell, or, whatever. But anyway, so that's why we didn't show you guys that part, is we don't want you guys to go.
And we'll know, you'll see it later in box opening.
You'll see it later on box opening. And for all of that, imagine if we bought all of it. It would be, we don't have a place to put all of that. No. We do have a very specific budget. And, showing you guys 1 or 2 or 3 lines during box opening is plenty.
Yes.
Plenty. If we showed you guys 6 or 7, you would have decision paralysis.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So, anyway.
Yes.
All right. Okay. Well, I'm glad you liked it. We're really glad that you liked it. So we'll do that more often. And Aaron is just so much fun. He's like super easy to, I did feel kind of bad because I noticed at the end of it, I didn't thank Chris for coming.
Oh, yeah. Chris.
We did. And we were happy to visit with her, and we visited with her a bunch, but I noticed it's like, wait, you thanked Aaron for coming, but you didn't say anything. So we did. You just didn't get to see that. So
she was fun. She is
super sweet.
She is in charge of all of the reps. So Aaron and all of his coworkers. So she just comes around with, every once in a while, we have some of those people who come with their reps and do things. And they're just looking for feedback from our quilt shop, what we like, what we didn't like. And totally fine. He showed us everything. And there were things that we loved that Hoffman did or that someone else did. And she's like, oh, well, that's good to know. We let them know that we don't like the line. Don't give us a cut line and a panel. We are intrigued of whole cloth quilts and making it simple. So she put that down. She's like, I liked that. She hadn't heard that. Just because it's a repeat doesn't mean, don't tell me where to cut it.
Right. We don't like the line with panels. Yeah.
So it was good having her, and it was fun meeting
The
her.
other fun thing with her is she went shopping.
She did.
While we were finishing up, she went out and bought some fabric.
To get back down to Andover, I'm going to go see myself.
I know. I thought that was kind of fun.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll keep showing you guys those things. So that was kind of fun. And then one other kind of quick thing, maybe kind of quick. Apparently we were talking about squirrels again, as usual. I don't know why we're constantly talking about squirrels. I think it's just our thing now. Because whenever we talk about Ben, we talk about our squirrel hunter. And so anyway, somebody had emailed me and had said that how funny it is that we seem to have some sort of distaste for the idea of eating squirrels, but those of us in the Pacific Northwest eat gooey ducks.
Oh, yeah, I don't eat those, though. Texturally not okay.
I thought, that's actually true.
Yeah.
So gooey ducks, if you don't know, what we could do maybe Anna can put a picture here. Because I think it's kind of funny because somebody had said, not that long ago. It's funny that she had even said that because I thought somebody else said, well, that's not real, is it? That's not real. Isn't that like AI generated? That's not like really. Comes like, that's totally real.
Yeah.
Gooey ducks are really a thing, and they are quite prevalent over on the coast. Not prevalent out here. We don't get them. If we go over there, but here we're in the desert part of the state, and not the seafood
Yeah. We've got trout,
area.
walleye.
We've got trout,
We got fish.
walleye, crappie, perch, bluegill.
Yeah.
Not salmon, not gooey ducks. So, but the funny thing about gooey ducks is that they are humongous. They're way bigger than you think. And in fact, that neck on them, they don't call it the neck. I guess they might call it the neck, can be, 2 feet long. And they can be 2 to 3 feet buried in the sand. They get absolutely humongous. And then, but what you do with them when you get them is, you, drop them in boiling water for about 10 to 15 seconds. And then what will happen is that clam shell will open up. Mm-hmm. And then you can grab that skin and you just like skin it. But then you cut it off right there. You don't eat the part that's inside the clam. That's like their stomach and their
All their
I think they
innards.
call it. Yeah,
You
the
don't really want
innards.
those
You don't
bits.
eat that. But then the rest of it, it's actually sweeter than a clam. It's actually very tender. Most people will eat it raw. I am not a fan of raw seafood, but a lot of people will eat that raw. But you can also cut it up and put it in your clam chowder. You can also just dip it in soy sauce, and it's actually pretty tender and pretty sweet. But it is kind of weird because people think it's not really real, but
It's a
it's real.
real thing.
And the other thing is that that clam shell. I mean, everybody sees those. You see those all the time, and that's what it is it's a gooey duck. And it's weird also. So just so you guys know this, if you guys are visiting Seattle or visiting the area, it is spelt geoduck.
Yeah.
And that's how we know if you are
From here or not.
From here or not. Do you pronounce it geoduck? That is not how you say it. Don't say that. Say gooey duck.
Yeah.
But anyway, it is a real thing, and there's way more meat on that than there is a squirrel.
For sure. For sure. And they're a little easier to catch.
And squirrels are just too cute to eat.
I mean, they're a menace.
I had Googled at I don't know some conversation, and I had Googled if eating squirrel was even worth it, and the AI
Well, I mean, if you're
answer,
naked and afraid or alone.
no, you're gonna. The AI or whatever, the Google answer to it was that there is actually 3 ounces of meat on a squirrel, and that this normal serving size is 2 to 4 squirrels, and that this is the interesting part about it. They're actually easy to catch because when they feel like they're in danger, they stop to argue with you.
Oh, they do. Hey, shoot that arrow.
So, you know, I feel like there's like some hidden message there that Karen's in the wild, you're going to get shot. You just better be running. Don't stop. And don't be chewing up the little hunter because,
The squirrel must be God's wilderness bunny.
yeah.
Because same thing with the bunny. They'll just freeze.
That's what we think of the bunnies. Yeah.
You don't see me. Yeah, we see you.
And
The wilderness bunny.
wait, was that an eagle?
Yes! Coming back!
I know. Dang it. I know. It's hard to be out in the wilderness and see that.
Yeah.
But that's what happens.
Oh.
That's on it. So anyway, and also, speaking of Ben corrected you because you had said that the longest
One syllable, yeah. Is it not squirrel?
squirrels.
Squirrels. Oh, squirrels. Yeah, squirrels.
Remember, serving sizes too.
Yeah.
So anyway, let's see. And speaking of squirrel recipes, but not squirrel, no. People wanted my
Oatmeal cookie, yeah.
cookie recipe. So I'm going to tell you. So I have some tidbits. So we've been making these. So it's kind of terrible because people have asked, well, how's Pa doing on the sugar-free diet? He's doing very, very good. But the problem is that, so I've been making these cookies that are gluten-free and sugar-free. And I'm not kidding you. Did I already tell you?
You told me. I don't know if you told them.
He wants like a dozen a night. So I had made them, and I think I made a dozen the first night. And then I just made them, and you can just freeze them, and then you just put them in the freezer. And he ate them and took them to lunch or whatever. And then that next night, he said, well, we need the dozen more guys. We need more cookies. Oh, okay. So I took 6 out of the freezer, put them on my little thing, put them in there. It's like, well, what is this? That's
like
not
it.
enough. That's not even enough at all. It's like, well, it's 6 cookies. And he says, well, first of all, you're not eating any, right? And it's like, well,
I guess not. Thanks.
I feel like I could eat 2 and you could have 4. No, he felt like he needed 6 for dinner and 6 to take for his lunch or, whatever.
Because there's no sugar in them. So,
I know,
it's like
he
eating
says,
oatmeal.
what does it matter? And it's like, well, I mean,
It kind of does.
It kind of does. I still think that's really the
Takeaway here.
No. I mean, we have to have better eating habits. And so that doesn't mean that you can wolf down a dozen cookies.
Because it's kind of like.
So
what we
then
had
I made
before.
them smaller. And of course he noticed. So it's like, wait a minute.
What'd you do differently here?
Did you take those 6 cookies, cut them in half, and make me 12? Because this was the size that he was eating. And I want you to see the difference too. So, and you guys can't really tell how soft this cookie is, but I'm going to tell you the recipe, but if you use regular cake flour, I don't know why it's such a difference, but regular cake flour, it comes out, this cookie, you can't tell the difference between this cookie and a cookie that has sugar in it, right? Did you think?
I don't think so.
It
was very good.
It tastes great. But oddly, if you really wanted to make sure that it was gluten-free, so, because oatmeal, oatmeal is naturally gluten-free, but you have to actually look for the package that says gluten-free because it could be that there's other contaminants in it. So you have to make sure that you get gluten-free oatmeal and not just assume that oatmeal
There's nothing
is.
else added in it.
So then if you use oatmeal and almond flour, it's very, very good. But look at and this is not just one of the small ones, it cooks differently.
Yeah, it does. It doesn't
So it's not
spread
as, and it doesn't spread out as much. And then even cooking it the same, look at the bottom of it. You know, it's almost like it just cooks different. So you would want to experiment just a little bit if the gluten-free is the other thing for you. But I have the recipe here. And what we'll do is we'll maybe just scan it in and we'll make it a printable PDF for you. Is that what they want to do?
Yeah, I can do that.
Or if
I'll do
Anna
both.
puts it up and then you can do a screenshot.
I'll do both. I'll put it in the description below if you just want to print it off and put it in your recipe book. And then Anna can also stick it up here on the screen for you so you can take a picture of it.
And so if it's up here on the screen, I'm going to show you two things. So it starts with the chocolate chip cookies. Those of you guys that used to come to Pincushion Club and would eat Millie's cookies, this is her cookie recipe. The only difference is that she didn't use just the 2 cups of chocolate chips. She put the whole package in, which is like, she says almost 3 cups. So she bumped up the chocolate chips, but otherwise this is her cookie recipe. And so then this oatmeal chocolate chip cookie recipe, this is the oatmeal cookie that I've been using, just not chocolate chips. So I'll tell you, I use butter, not margarine ever. And then if you look at that, it says 1.5 cups of, it's a cup of brown sugar and 1/2 cup of granulated sugar. I do 1 cup of that monk fruit.
Monk fruit, yeah.
And then I do 1/2 cup of honey. So there's other things, and I experimented a little bit with, what about using molasses because of the brown sugar? And there's also kind of a substitute brown sugar for monk fruit that's a sugar-free one. I like the monk fruit. The only thing that you want to know about that, if you haven't used that before, is it doesn't dissolve the same way. So you know how you take your butter and your sugar and you cream those together? It doesn't get creamy. So it's a little bit different and a little bit crunchier, I guess. There's a little different consistency, but the taste is exactly the same and it measures the same way. And I know that there's other options in there, and you might find that if you wanted to start doing that, maybe experiment just a little bit. But I felt that my 1.5 cups of brown sugar, if I did a cup of monk fruit and 1/2 cup of honey, we liked it. And that's what that is right there. And then the 2 eggs, everything else is the same, the vanilla. The only thing that I added to this that's not on here is I also put in a teaspoon of cinnamon. I feel like that needs to be in there. And then there's your 2 cups of flour. I actually prefer just the regular all-purpose flour and not the almond flour, the salt, and then also, there is one other thing, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, not 2. And then 2 cups of oats. And that's it. So this is the same thing, just my weird little adjustments to this. It's just a basic recipe. And I think that's kind of the whole idea of that monk fruit, is that if you wanted to try some things that are, sugar-free, you can put that in there. But keeping in mind that it doesn't dissolve thing, that salad dressing that we like that you put on broccoli.
Oh, yes.
The broccoli, grape, bacon. And then you take, mayonnaise, vinegar, and sugar, and you mix it all together. It doesn't work. Oh. The monk fruit sugar,
I'm sure that
doesn't
not
dissolve in the mayonnaise.
That's a problem.
No, it kind of it tastes the same, but you get that little.
Is there a little bit of sand in my broccoli?
Yeah, it's not right. It's not right. So. And again, I am still kind of experimenting a little bit, so maybe there's something
I've
different
done pie filling with monk fruit.
Oh yeah,
where we get our cherries and apples from. He's diabetic, but I'll always make him some pie filling because he likes his sweets too. So
yeah,
and I've tried, and it's actually pretty good. You would never know that it's a fruit sugar and not a processed sugar, and it was really good.
Yeah, and you can get it a couple different ways. If they there's a little filler that they add to it. That's the one that I get. That makes it measure exactly the same. And
yeah,
I kind of like that. But.
And it'll say right on the packaging. So whatever monk sugar, if you can get something like that locally, or if you get it online, right on the packaging, it'll tell you this use half the amount of a regular sugar, or same, equal.
Yeah. And there's so many sugar substitutes to choose from.
Yeah.
My whole thing is I'm trying to get something that's more natural and not chemical. And Splenda, I think there's not Splenda. What's the one that everybody likes that is made out of?
Stevia?
Stevia.
The potato one?
Yeah. Yeah. So but I think that one will raise your glycemic level a little bit. But anyway. Just because some of you guys asked,
Oatmeal
a lot
cookies,
of you guys,
to
a lot of you guys asked for the recipe. And so this is nothing. This is just the oatmeal cookies according to me. Not the best. I think they're good though.
They're really good.
I think they're really good.
I didn't notice, they didn't have
They're enough
real
that Paul
sugar.
wants to eat a dozen every night.
Yeah.
So they're good. But yeah, so this is there might be lots of other ways to do it, but we thought we would just share. This is the way that I do it.
And I can get my monk sugar at Walmart.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I did it on Walmart pickup. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
And mine, the one I got was the 1-to-1.
Yeah.
I didn't have to do any equations.
Yeah. Thank goodness. Thank goodness. No. All right. I think that could be it. I think that, I don't know. We can never tell how long we talk.
I know. Oh, the only thing I'll add is we got a message from Shannon Fabrics. So Shannon Fabrics is actually down in California. They just kind of made sure that everyone knew that we were good. Shannon Fabrics is not in the path of anything. They're helping their community as best they can. Everyone's safe. All their employees are safe. But in the message, they also said how people could help. So if you are still wondering how you can help, maybe if you've talked to your church about a sister church that you can help too. I just found some of the basic stuff. So the LA Food Bank, because of course people who lost everything don't necessarily have the funds maybe to go out to eat, but they can go to the food bank. So you can donate at lafoodbank.org. Support LAFD, so lafiredepartment.org. So there's just a couple of different things. Theirs will make sure that their fire guys have everything you need, the extra cases of water, the tents, the whatever is happening. If someone gets injured, the fire department will make sure that they are taken care of and their family is taken care of. Why maybe the sole proprietor is, is healing. So there's that. And you can also, they have a benevolent fund on their website where you can just put it in there. So when they're doing fundraisers for the community and other things, that can be a part of that. Nice. And then there is a directrelief.org. So that one is kind of the same thing. It's everybody in those communities that have been affected. It'll do all of those things. You can also pinpoint where you want it to go. Nice. And you can do whatever amount you want. But things to help.
It's kind of hard because it's funny that one or the other, it got hard to watch all the time because it was just so devastating.
And now there's not a peep about it.
Yeah. It's like, well, where are they at now and what's going on now? And so now they've sort of moved on to other things. And I think that was the thing that, the two people that I know that were affected, and that's what they said is, they don't want to be forgotten. They don't want people to 6 months from now.
I wonder what they're doing.
Yeah. It's like, no, we're still homeless. We're still fighting with the insurance company. We still are living off of the kindness of friends or whatever. Yeah. So I think that is kind of a thing. And, the other thing too that I was going to mention is that, she had sent this video of these people. I should show it to you. I don't want to share it on air because it's super creepy, but, at her house, they were at their house going through their stuff and they saw these people out front. And so they walked out, but the way to get out there, they couldn't get past like the carnage. So they had to go down and they had to come up the side to come up to see who these people were. These people were making a video of our house burnt down and this is how.
Oh no.
Yeah. So she's making a video and she's saying, these people, look at their faces. Real. This is my house. This is my house. I know it.
I've heard a lot of that. I heard people going in and looting. It's like, are you serious? So, yeah. So for me, I
donate to people that you know.
Yes.
Know of them. Yeah. Friend of a friend.
Yeah.
Sisters.
And these three I thought were really, really great. Yeah. I donated to the food bank because I know the people who have nothing, they have no clothes. And they have no food. And me having mama 3, that would be what I had baby infant Wyatt who was nursing off of me. I panicked because my power was out.
You did.
So Feeding my
You're gonna
babies
be
is
fine.
top priority. Let me just tell you what. We can go bathe in the river. That's fine, but we have to eat. And I'm not a squirrel hunter.
No.
So we donated to the food bank.
That's right.
I feel like we experienced that problem during COVID where the food banks just were totally depleted. And I feel like they probably got to where they were good now, but it's only going to happen again because there's so many displaced people. And there's if they don't have a car to get to work.
This is a catastrophe that's going to have far-reaching effects.
Yes.
I mean, where are they going to stay? Do they really have somebody down there? Hoffman is the other company. Hoffman they were collecting quilts, donating quilts, raffling off some quilts, because that's the other thing too, is that, if you've lost your home. Can you guys hear her?
I want to go.
We'll go get her. So there's a lot of stuff. That's what we think of right away is what can we do? But we need to think about it again in 6 months. We need to think about it again in a year. And, if there's people that and so we have some friends down there that we've been in contact with. But anyway, we just wanted to California, we're thinking of you. Dang it.
And be careful about GoFundMes.
Be careful.
Obviously, there's some people that are taking someone else's tragedy to make it their own.
It makes my hair stand up.
Yeah, so
Super
be sure
creepy.
where you send those funds to.
Yeah. All right, we're going to go see what baby girl wants. And
and then we'll see you for at 5 o'clock tonight for box opening.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye. Huh.
We only thought we were done. We're eating our
cookies already. Sorry.
But the quilt behind us that fell on us, and we even forgot about it.
Oh my gosh.
This is called the Game Quilt by Quilt Smart. So those of you that are totally enjoying the easy piecing grid, where you fuse and stitch and then you make something beautiful, this is the same way. But you have your different games. You've got tic-tac-toe, Mancala, I'll shoot some ladders.
Well, yes.
But
I mean,
go ahead.
But what it is, it's kind of fun. The way that they came up with this was that Quilt Smart has the same quilted panels to be able to make a drunkard's path block or a double wedding ring block, to do some applique blocks, and then of course to do the squares, just like what Easy Piecing does. And so this one down here, can you see the part is the double wedding ring block.
So it's kind of like a little sampler packet.
It's a little sampler packet of that same thing, and it's all of these games. And even the pattern even comes with the rules for the games and what the games are.
She also talks about if you're not wanting to make a whole quilt, to just individually make them and have them in a little, the little travel pouch with your pieces and take them out as you go. So if that's something you're enjoying and like, oh, I wish there was more of it like it, try the Quilt Smart stuff. I have on my plan for our new year of tutorials that I might do a few Quilt Smart stuff, because we do have like the big arc, the
Hunter
Star one. We have Mariner's Compass one. We have some really good ones. They don't come with instructions. They're just individual panels. So I feel like, yes, I could sell you a pattern from them for $9 along with the panel.
There isn't instructions on the panel?
Sometimes there is. She may have reprinted some of them now that have a little bit of instructions, but I feel like I need to show you how. But once you understand how the easy piecing grid that 10 Sister puts out, how Quilt Smart works, it's pretty easy to kind of understand where you fuse the piece, stitch the piece, create the arc. But
it's two different companies, right? So Carmen Geddes used to be a bigwig at Quilt Smart. And so that was what they did. And then she
branched off,
branched off. And now she only does the easy piecing grid,
which is only squares.
Only squares.
So she's not going to come out with some really cool star or some applique pieces.
No.
Quilt Smart is the one who does different shapes, sizes, appliques. But super fun. So I just thought I'd put that out there because a lot of you guys really enjoy that. So and they really like again. We have a Minky back on this, so if they decide they're not wanting to play and they want to snuggle,
if you're a loser, you don't get the blanket.
Winner gets to snuggle with it. All
right.
See you tonight.
Now we're leaving. Now we're finishing our cookies.
Thank you for watching our video. We invite you to leave a comment, hit the like button, or better yet, subscribe to our channel so you never miss an episode. You can also visit our Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, or Pinterest pages, or find all of those things and our online store at fabricpatch.net.